Wycliffe Hall. Old Town will be meeting at Makadara Ground.
All right, so these are public participation meetings and they're happening in your sub-county. But just to understand it better, Charles, what are these meetings for? I know it's a public participation, but what are they participating in?
Thank you very much for that's a very interesting question.
Yeah.
So what are we participating for?
Yeah.
So how the budget the budget process in Kenya starts, there's a difference between the financial year and the budget process.
Yeah.
So we all know that the financial year starts July 1st and ends in 30th June. However, the budget process starts around August. So here is where we are going to do most of the formulation, and it will take place all the way till next year, around April to June, where we will be approving now the budget process, the budget documents.
Yeah.
And also finishing the approval stage. I'll talk about the stages a bit later.
Yeah.
So for this period, in relation to answering to your question,
yes,
the county government has called for public participation, specifically on the annual development plan. So the annual development plan is a 1-year extract of the county integrated development plan,
yes,
which is a 5-year plan. I usually call it a strategic plan for the county.
Okay.
So once we've developed the strategic plan for the county, now we have to actualize it by creating plans, actually extracting plans and programs, projects from the 5-year plan. So now the county is requesting citizens to come and propose projects that they see are of priority for this financial year. I hope I've answered that question.
All right, you have answered the question, and
Yes.
I think that also helps the listener. So if you feel like there are projects that should be prioritized by the county government, when you show up to participate, you propose, right?
Yes, you do propose for the projects that you see are of priority, and when you talk about priorities, it differs because we have 6 sub-counties.
Yes.
So issues Likoni might be different from issues Mvita.
Yes.
At the same time, within Mvita we have wards.
Yeah.
So the issues within Mvita in a specific ward, let's say Tononoka, might be very different from a place like Shimanzi Ganjoni.
Yeah.
So now what the county needs to do is to, after getting all these views and
Yes.
listening to the priorities, now they have to come back then and make a decision among all these priorities, which is the most priority that we
Okay.
need to take into account in terms of projects and programs.
All right, you had Charles Njenga there, well explained. So do not miss out. In Vita and Likoni, it started today, right? From 9 all the way to 12. Kindly show up. And you just had, before Charles joined us, Maimuna said, politics influences your life.
Correct.
Yes. So do not stay ignorant, because ignorance is expensive. Now, Charles, let's talk about the budget making cycle in the county. How does this take place? And when does it start?
So the budget process in the county and the national government is the same. It has 4 stages. We have the formulation stage, the approval stage, the implementation stage, and lastly audit and evaluation. So the approvals, the formulation stage is where county and national government come to citizens, ask for their views.
Okay.
What do you think is of more important that the county or the national government should put money to, specifically on projects and program? If we put our lens into the county focus, we've talked about the annual development plan, which is more of programs and projects which are extracted from the CIDP, as we have said. Now, when we check also the legal frameworks, which is the Constitution of Kenya, the Public Finance Management Act, the County Government Act, talks about that no county or government within Kenya should implement a project which is outside a plan.
Okay.
So all the plans that the citizens will be proposing in terms of the projects and programs must be extracted, or must have its roots from the CIDP.
Mm.
Is your party you just bring a project out of the blue?
Yeah.
You must have an understanding on the CIDP.
Yeah.
And here is where I see there is need of meaningful public participation and
Yes.
meaningful civic engagement.
Yes.
Where, yes, we developed the CIDP sometimes in 2023, 2022, 2023 there, when the governor came in. But now the county needs to continue engaging its citizens
Yes.
in reminding them and informing them that any plan, any program, any project that we do is linked to that.
Okay.
And if we talk about the plan, remember it has the governor's manifesto,
Yes.
which is the Mwanzo Mpya Sauti ya Watu. It has around 10 key pillars. So now the formulation stage starts with developing the budget circular, which is a key budget document that outlines how the entire budget process will be, the key dates that the citizens need to put into account, even the county officials. Then from there we go for now public participation on the annual development plan. Now we have talked about the annual development plan. Now at the moment the public participation that takes place near the executive arm of the county government.
Okay.
Now after it has done all its public participation, they will go sit, develop a report, and the report will have key projects and programs for specific departments within the county.
Yes.
Now this document will be presented to the assembly. You see, now the assembly, before they approve, they have to come back to mwananchi. By the way, mulisema hii ndio muhimu sana ama sio vipi? You see, now from there, if citizens see the priorities have changed, now they can realign their priorities and say, no, we had thought of this as a priority in terms of a project, but at the moment, no, we think this is a priority.
Charles, does that ever happen?
Yes, it has happened several times. I remember last, I think 2 or a month back, there was a public participation on the program-based budget at the assembly part, and the document that we were given had key questions that the assembly were asking to the executive, because they wanted to know exactly ni miradi gani specifically iko at which ward, so that I as a MCA can tell my constituents, by the way, the county government is doing X, Y, Z in this ward.
Okay.
And this and this cannot be done due to lack of funds.
All right.
Yes.
Now, the reason I've asked that, it's because we have we've seen a lot of complaints when people say, we were not consulted, we were not involved in this decision-making process. Is it a case of people not showing up to participate in these processes, or it just doesn't get to them?
It's a yes and no question, according to me, because I had talked about meaningful civic engagement.
Yeah.
You see, public participation or civic engagement should not stop for when there's an ad. The county government should not stop there. There needs to be continuous engagement with citizens. That's why there is that outcry that misijahusishwa, because there's that disconnect. And what we've always been telling the county government is that the continuous civic engagement can work because there's a directorate of public participation. There's a directorate of civic education. Now through that, and we have the sub-county administrators, the ward administrators. I remember they're supposed to be doing public participation or engaging citizens. I remember back in the day when I was young, there was this.
Young.
Yes. When I was very young, starting in this field of
back in the day, and I'm not seeing white hair.
Yeah, so I remember back then where we were called for chief barazas.
Yes.
And the chief would tell us the mradi fulani inafanyika, government hivi na hivi na hivi. Even the president, when the president is come, you are being informed that he's coming to launch this and this and this.
Yes.
So I believe if the county could take this route, could be good. I'm not saying that it's not taking, because I know of several sub-county administrators who are doing tremendous work.
Yes.
And also ward administrators. They are doing extra. They are just going beyond engaging its citizens. But at the same time, government will do what it's supposed to do.
Yes.
But we as citizens also have
We need
a
to do our part.
responsibility that is enshrined in this constitution.
Yes.
Yes, that we need to protect this constitution, to engage. You can, because this constitution has given us more power than the previous one.
Yeah.
So it is now your duty and responsibility to engage. That's why I usually say jihusishe. Yeah, jihusishe. Yes.
Okay.
There's another question hapa ama issue ambayo iko because currently we are in CIDP 3, right? Tuko miaka mitano ya tatu.
Yes.
Sasa katika tumesema kwamba masuala yote yanatolewa kwa CIDP, lakini pia kuna vile ambavyo nahisi kama wananchi pengine hawajajua haswa kwamba yanatoka pale, na nadhani ndio pia unasisitiza kwamba serikali inafaa ifanye kitu pale. Lakini pia kumetokea ile ya kwamba like the ADP inakuja ni document, so tayari vitu viko pale. Kumekuwa kuna ile tetesi ya kwamba wananchi wanahisi kwamba ndio tunapeana mapendekezo yetu, lakini tayari kwa sababu zile ziliwekwa pale ni kama hakuna haja, yani inakuja tu ni kama ni kitu tu ifanyike. Sijui kama hapo unaliongeleaje hili. It's more of rubber stamp.
Yes, ni kweli kile ulichozungumza, lakini kwa naweza sema muhula wa pili saa hiyo ama tuseme mwaka wa pili, county government ya Mombasa imechukua naweza sema line nyingine. The previous ADP ilikuja ikiwa blank document, ambao ilikuwa for the first time I was also confused. Mbona na we already had plans in the CIDP, but akaambia no, this time tunataka mtuambie nyinyi ni miradi gani mnaona ni muhimu, ndio tuzieke, ndio tuweze kutekeleza. So tulipeana miradi na tukapeana program zile ambazo counties zinafaa zifanye na ikatengeza. However, ama tuseme changamoto inakujia ni pale, sawa mimi nimetoa mapendekezo yangu, lakini siambiwi katika zile mapendekezo ima ni 10, ima ni 15, ima ni 2. Basi katika zile 2 nimechukua moja, county imechukua ama haikuchukua kabisa. So there's that lack of proper feedback.
Okay.
Even if you do a memorandum, the feedback might be delayed, so you are not well informed that which program or which project was considered. For this ADP, tuliletewa template, just a blank template. Citizens to give out programs and projects. So and this is a personal view.
Yes.
I said this, haina haja kupropose miradi mpya kama zile miradi za mwaka jana na mwaka juzi hatujazifanya. So let us get one status update, 2 kama zimefanyika tuonyeshe ziko wapi, because hapo ndio utabuild ile citizens confidence with the administration. Unaona, hata ukiona zile changamoto za Gen Z ilikuwa ni kwa sababu ya vitu kama hizo. We are not seeing what you are saying you are doing. So for our case as an organization, ile memorandum tumepeana, hatukupeana miradi, tulipeana tuomba tupewe information ya mradi huu. Je, umefikia wapi? Umefanyika vipi? Kama haujafanyika pia tuambiwe. Alafu kuna zile tumezizungumzia priorities, ambazo for the last 2 financial years the county government has been repeating the priorities. So kwa sababu wameregelea zile priority ambazo ni extract from the CIDP, which is also an extract from the governor's manifesto. Sasa basi tuambiwe naye katika hizi priorities za governor amezifikisha wapi? Because hivyo unavyosema, we are now 15 years into devolution. At the same time, governor huyu akona miaka 2 na ofisini. So we need also to understand, for the last 2 years, can you give us a progress report? Umefanya nini in terms of miradi? Because hii miradi inaleta ina enhance service delivery kwa wananchi. Because if it is a hospital na haijamalizika, it means it denies citizens service in that hospital. At the same time, there is no value for our money in terms of taxes, because if a project is stalled, ni pesa tulieka pale.
Yeah.
A good example is Mombasa Stadium. Sitaki kwenda sana hapo. But sasa you see, we put some few coins there in terms of taxpayers' money. But we are not getting the value. We are not getting it. Paka hata ukisikia wengine wanakuambia wakaazi wa Mvita, wakaazi wa Tononoka wanakuambia hata afadhali angeiacha vile vile.
Yes.
Ikiwa na mabonde yake hivyo hivyo, tungecheza mpira, watu wangekimbia.
Why do these projects stall?
So it's a very interesting question, but this is just my view.
Yeah.
One could be delayed of funds, 2 priorities, 3 not really doing the actual calculations in understanding the total costs, and lastly the procurement system government. It's very long, tedious, and for county government there's a part of money that they get from the national government.
Yes.
Even though the money that we collect here, most of it goes to development, but if we fail to meet our targets in terms of the money that we say we are going to collect, it has a direct implication to the projects and the programs that we said we are going to do in a financial year.
Okay. We're in studio with Charles Njenga, and we are unpacking the county budget budgeting making cycle, or rather the county budget making cycle. And it's a bit complicated, but we're learning. What question do you have for Charles? 0700917917. We'll be back in a bit.
SwahiliPot 91.7 FM Mombasa.
Pablo.
Mr. LG.
Kuna kitu mimi nataka nikwambie, lakini naogopa utaniona kana wivu hivi. Oh, sweetie, niko na mwaneze wa pembeni wasisikie, mara naogopa wataniona kana wivu hivi. Asa sijui ndo kinga, sijui ndo fala, au sijui mazoea, ila napata tabu kiwa malima, mana na shingo kulala kulala, mnyonge na nyongonyea, mwanzo napata tabu kiwa malima. Hani kwako michizi poyoyo, usende mbali nami, wendo tulizo la moyo. Hani kwako michizi poyoyo, usende mbali nami, wendo tulizo la moyo. Ona kama si wewe, nani wakunilioanza, nani unibembeleza, nani unipepea milani.
Na kama si wewe, nani wakuniliwaza, nani unibembeleza, wakunipepea milale. Kuna venye utimamu unanitoka na kuacha karamu, hii inaitwaje kitaalamu, ukitajwa kimbongo.
Holidays is interesting because it affects our lives, and we must be able to participate to be able to make our lives better
Yes.
the way we want, because we vote leaders in.
Kwanza yote 9-10, moyo umehamisha kambi, na nipa penzi sabuni, la nitakatisha dhambi. Wanasubiri livunjike penzi hili, hatutishwi na hatumili, kuachana pende Mwenyezi. Hani kwako michizi poyoyo, usende mbali nami,
Wendo tulizo la moyo.
hani kwako michizi poyoyo, usende mbali nami, wendo tulizo la moyo.
Ona kama si wewe,
Nani
wakunilioanza,
nani
unibembeleza, wakunipepea milani.
na kama si wewe, na kama si wewe,
Oh, D-Voice and Zuchu there. And one of my favorite jams, that is Nani, playing right here on SwahiliPot FM Breakfast Club at 8 minutes to 10. Good morning to you. My name is Miriam Angel. I'm here with Emmanuel Gona and Charles Njenga, and we are unpacking the county budget making cycle.
Yeah. So tuko kwa hiyo ADP, public participation ndizo ni kama zinaisha leo Mombasa County. Ni lipi haswa liko pale ndani ya priorities ambazo vijana wanatakiwa sahi kuziangazia? Tuko na hii masaa tu kidogo ambao najua kuna wale wanatusikiza na ni lazima wayataje ili tuweze kuona kwamba Mombasa inasonga vile tunavyotaka.
Asante Emmanuel. So kama vile nilivyozungumza mara ya kwanza, county government for this time round kwa ADP wamepeana a blank document which has the proposed projects that you want them to be done, the ward and the contact person of all the participants that have proposed the project. Lakini lazima tukumbuke kuwa kuna priorities, na hizi priorities ni zile county government ilitoa kwa CIDP yake, which nilisema ni extra, iko infused ama na infused na manifesto ya governor, which has 10 points. So kwa vijana, this is a clarion call to them. Governor alisema yeye ako na moyo wa vijana. So for young people, they should propose projects which are of benefit to them. Unajua ni jina ni neno lingine huwa sipendi kulitumia, but saa hii inabidi ukuwe binafsi kidogo. Sasa sisi kama vijana, what do we want?
Kazi.
Yeah, kazi. But si kazi tu, but iwe ni kazi ya maana. Si ile Mombasa ni yangu.
Sustainability.
There needs to be sustainable. So I'm not saying that we all be white collar jobs.
No. Maybe let's look at it this way. What's hurting most youths right now is they don't have jobs, right? Yeah. Then the resort to drugs, they are in the streets, okay? Yes. And then also education, right? So when you say that waje waseme nini wanahitaji sana, and the person comes and says, I need a job, what do? Is that something that they can front forward? And a job doesn't mean it's a white collar job.
Yes.
Yeah.
A very good question.
Yes.
And an answer at the same time. But let me say this. Governments are supposed to facilitate the ease of doing business. Either way, be it white collar, be it that other collar.
Yeah.
So for kuna wale wanataka employment, but employment can come directly or indirect. If there is good harmony in terms of setting up a business in Mombasa, getting the licenses and everything, then it is easier for someone to employ young people. So going back to what I was saying is young people be selfish. If they would take my personal route is this: Governor, you've been in the office for the last 2 years. Your manifesto talks about young people. That's why you've brought Kazi ni Mombasa ni yangu project. We cannot not all be infused in that project. But for the last 2 years, tuambie what other projects have you done for young people? Because by the time to reach next year around
politics is interesting
June,
because it affects our lives.
2.5
and
years.
We must be able to participate to be
so
able to
I was going
make
back
our
to what
lives
I was
better
saying in terms
the
of
way
zile
we
miradi.
want.
Yes.
Because
The
we
previous
vote leaders in
financial
to
year
go to
2022,
represent us, to go and make decisions that are good for
He's now
us,
implementing 24,
not any
25
decision
as
that is
prepare
bad for us.
25, 26.
So any law that
So
is going to be made
projects
that will
gani
make your life
ambazo
uncomfortable,
amefanya that are
unbearable,
linked to young
then
people.
I have no
You see,
business staying out
so
of it
hapo
but to
then
make
young
sure that
people can
that
now
particular
sit down
leader
and
is out.
say, hii na
Okay.
hii na hii. So hii haijafanyika. Now let's demand for this. Because here maybe we'll get opportunities. Because I'll tell you this, in the previous ADP, it was talking about youth empowerment centers, young people who are in groups to be capacity built by the county.
Yes.
They were talking about different projects in different departments that focus on young people.
Yes.
So are these young people really involved? Because not all of them will go to even mesema Mombasa ni yangu, but we want to see. Kuna wengine wameenda kwa mambo ya blue economy.
Yes.
Kuna wengine wameenda kwa mambo ya business. Kuna wengine ambao wameenda kwa mambo ya agriculture. Yes, and so that we see you cannot do farming, but you can do transport of the finished products at the farm.
Yes.
Through a boda.
Yes.
You can do online marketing of a product ambayo imetoka shambani, or kama content creator.
Yeah.
So such things. So that's why I'm saying they need to be selfish, and it's not for young people only, but any other collective group of people, be it the Matatu Association, be it the Tuk-Tuk Association, be it the markets, be it even the business associations.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wow, that's a good explanation to what the young people need to do. Now, as we wrap up, what are some of the expectations by the law at the different stages? I think that is the budgeting making cycle.
Yes, so the different the laws are quite many in all the stages, because in the formulation stage there are several laws that guide the legal, we could call them the legal framework that guide the process during the formulation stage. And I talked about
politics is interesting because it affects our lives, and we must be able to participate to be able to make our lives better the way we want.
We'll get another document called the SIBROP, which is I call it a chameleon document, which has a review of how we performed in terms of in the previous financial year, and outlook how we are thinking we are going to collect or perform. And then from there we go to other budget documents like the sector. We'll have sector working groups who will do most of the allocations now to specific departments in the county. We'll have also quarterly implementation reports, which usually come after every quarter, which is 3 months, just to show how the county is performing. And these documents also come in 2 phases. There is what the county is supposed to upload in their county websites, and we have this office called the Office of the Controller of Budget, which also uploads quarterly implementation reports, which are based from what the counties have provided to this office.
Yes.
And this cuts across both at national and county level. And as we go to next year, if I am to take the trajectory ADP, we'll go to now the other document called the County Physical Strategy Paper. Now this document, here we had talked about programs and projects. Now the CFSP will align money, itatuma pesa kwa specific departments where these projects are. For example, if we want a project on Mambo Youth, we'll go and see it in the Department of Public Service, Youth, Gender and Sports, where we'll have the lion's share in terms of allocation. If it is matters relating to health, it will go there. At the same time, remember, as a country, there are these laws and other treaties that we signed. So we have to align that. One of them is like the Maputo Declaration, which talks about 30% of the total budget should go to health. So that is it's a done deal. All county government or even the national government has to put at least 30% of the total budget to go to health. And at the same time split it in terms of recurrent expenditure and development.
Thank you so much, Charles Njenga. I know there's a lot to unpack with limited time, of course, but it's time for us to wrap up. I just want to tell you that you need to go to Mvita and Likoni, show up and participate in the public participation meeting. And of course, this is on the annual development plan for the county, for Mombasa County. So please show up, and it's happening today from 9 to 12. That's in Mvita and Likoni. What about other areas?
Actually, it's Mvita and Likoni, but the words,
The words,
yeah. So Mtongwe, we said it's Mtongwe Social Hall. Likoni, we have Mwahima Stadium. Bofu at Starehe Boys Center. Timbwani will be at Likoni Social Hall. Shikadabu at Chief's Office Hall. Then in Mvita, Tononoka Ward will be at Tononoka Social Hall. Majengo Mwembe Tayari will be at Majengo Village Hall, Ganjoni Shimanzi at Mazagazaga Hall, Tudor at Marycliff Hall, and Old Town at Makadara Ground.
Yes, do not be left out. Know what's happening in your county. Be the voice. Do have a good morning. Let's catch up again tomorrow morning from 6 to 10. DJ Combs is ready.
Pay attention.
Mambo vipi SwahiliPot FM, na enjoy the show na wasikiza kutoka Kuchangamwe. Ni Calvin Opio.
Amjambo, kwa majina naitwa T na wasikiza kutoka mtaa wa Kisauni.